Today we're diving into a really provocative idea, one that flips a script we all think we know. Why, in today's world, women aren't really allowed to cry anymore.
Forever. We've all heard this rule, right? Men don't cry. It's this idea that guys are the ones who have to be stoic, tough it out, and never ever show that kind of emotion.
But is that really the whole story today? Because if you look closely, you'll see something has shifted. A pretty wild reversal has been taking place.
It seems like a new, unwritten rule has taken its place, and that rule is that it's now women who often face much harsher judgment for showing their emotions. More and more, their tears are met not with empathy, but with ridicule, with dismissal. So let's dig into this tale of two tears. We're going to break down how society has developed this really stark double standard for judging the exact same emotion.
The vocabulary we use now basically tells the whole story. When a woman expresses strong emotion, she's not just seen as a person having a tough moment. No, she's immediately slapped with a label. She's a Karen, she's hysterical, or she's weaponizing her feelings. Her emotions get turned into a joke, a meme.
And this slide right here, this just lays it all out. When a man cries, we often call it a brave breakthrough. It's powerful. But when a woman does, it's dismissed as an unstable breakdown. So the very same act gets interpreted in completely opposite ways. One is strength, the other is weakness, or even manipulation. That grace is just not applied equally.
So you have to ask, how did we end up here? Well, ironically, part of it is a kind of feminist paradox. The push for the strong, independent woman ideal raised the emotional bar for women, encouraging them to be tough, to be unshakable. But at the exact same time, the cultural conversation around men, thankfully, started to focus on vulnerability, which basically lowered their bar for showing emotion. And this isn't just happening in a vacuum, of course. Media, pop culture, advertising, they play a huge role in hammering these new norms into place. They're constantly fueling this fire.
Think about it. In movies and TV, a crying woman is almost never just a person having a real experience. She's the hysterical girlfriend trope, used for laughs. Her feelings are an inconvenience that needs to be solved, maybe with some chocolate or a face mask. Or worse, her pain becomes entertainment, like those Karen meltdown videos.
But then, flip the coin. Man's emotions? Oh, that's treated totally differently. Male vulnerability is often framed as this heroic, cinematic character arc. It's a sign of depth and maturity. The sensitive man has become this profitable, marketable brand, while a woman expressing the exact same thing is just, a lot.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Even empowerment is a cage. Ads that are supposed to be empowering often trap women in this cage of impossible expectations. All those slogans like "be unstoppable" or "strong is the new pretty," they just add to the pressure, implying that if you show vulnerability, you're failing.
Okay, so this is about way more than just hurt feelings or bad movie tropes. This double standard has real and honestly dangerous consequences for how our entire society understands harm and decides who's accountable.
And this is where it gets truly scary. Look at how this plays out in the real world. When a violent man commits a crime, the public conversation often focuses on his pain. He was lonely, he was misunderstood. We get deep dive analyses. But when a woman has a public crisis, she's mocked, turned into a joke. Her distress becomes viral entertainment.
What this habit does over time is it completely warps our perspective. We are literally being conditioned to sympathize with threatening behavior from one group while at the same time laughing at the genuine vulnerability of another. And that erodes our ability to respond to harm in any rational way.
So if that's the problem, and it's a huge one, what on earth is the path forward? How do we start to reclaim some kind of emotional fairness?
Let's put a name on the core issue: emotional asymmetry. It's this massive cultural blind spot that leads us to treat violent men like misunderstood children while treating vulnerable women like villains. And at the end of the day, that makes all of us less safe because we can't properly see danger for what it is. Now, let's be absolutely clear. The answer here is not to roll back the progress we've made and tell men to bottle their feelings up again. Not at all. The goal is to extend the same grace, the same permission to be vulnerable to women without this constant demand that they be tough and resilient all the time. So the path forward really boils down to a few basic principles. 1. Vulnerability is a human thing, not a gendered one. 2. The grace we offer people can't be selective. You can't just apply it to one group and not the other. And finally, emotional accountability, that has to be for everyone. Which leaves us with one last big question to chew on. If our empathy is conditional, if it's only reserved for certain people based on these unwritten, unequal rules, is it really empathy at all?